have some of that cloud deck right about here, and you can kind of trace that into the eastern Piedmont. And like I showed you on the sky camera here, kind of the edge of that would be in Alamance County, Orange County, and Chatham County. Keep an eye on this. It may provide for a really beautiful sunset if the sun catches it just right. Around 7:30, 7:45. Keep an eye on that. That's something you might want to take a look at. Otherwise, it's a beautiful evening across the area. Temperatures have warmed throughout the day into the low and mid 70s. So it's a very pleasant day, a very pleasant night of weather right now. Temperatures in the mountains didn't really make it out of the 60s basically all day. 68 currently in Wilkesboro, and we have mid 70s across most of the Triad area. Looking back at the morning that was, low temperatures, a lot cooler than usual. In fact, some folks were even close to record lows in the area. We had 51 degrees in Greensboro and in Winston-Salem. 47 is the record, so that was close to setting a new record, just about 4 degrees off of that. Boone woke up this morning at 37. And I believe that was a record low for them. So something of note, to say the least. Now, 40s for the lows across the western and northern counties from Wilkesboro to Reedsville, Yanceyville, Danville, and Mount Airy. All of you woke up to the 40s. Even Salisbury started the day at 48 degrees also. So that chill is in the air. How typical is it? Well, for our area, you can see here, we tend to get 60 degrees for the first time sometime in late August. We have, of course, done that multiple times by now. We had a low of 51, so that's close to 50. When does that typically happen? Middle or end of September. So we're a little ahead of schedule when it comes to that. As far as October goes, that's when we tend to start to see our first 40-degree temperature. That typically is in that October range. And the first freeze, that tends to be around Halloween, at least in our area. So some things to keep in mind. We call them the averages. You can call them the normals, whatever you'd like to do. Any case, our weather will stay cool, but not quite as cool as this morning was. That was likely our coolest of the week overall. Looking here, clouds over in eastern North Carolina. I showed you that, and the coastal low. There's even been some coastal problems from that. If you look here in Buxton, which is basically right around Cape Hatteras, you can see some overwash remnants. There was some water that got pushed onto Highway 12 earlier today around high tide. That's something that can happen to them even without a hurricane, even without a tropical system. You can get those issues when you have a persistent flow of water from the north and east. That low pressure area along the coast still going to be there for tomorrow. And for us, the only thing it's going to do is just kind of reinforce that northerly flow of wind, bringing in dry air and cool air into our area. I see that pattern kind of lingering for several more days. So for Wednesday, Thursday, into Friday, we'll stay dry and cool. That's kind of the way I see it. So what we'll be noticing is that in the mornings, still in the 50s and 60s, in the afternoons and evenings, you'll be in the 70s to right around 80 degrees. Pretty nice. It'll be really great weather for the Folk Festival in Greensboro, which is this weekend. Across the tropics, a lot of times, this is just a maddening time of year. I remember many occasions where we have multiple storms to track for you all at once, and that can be pretty chaotic. 1, 2, 3, here and there. Not the case at all right now. You could look at the Gulf. The Gulf is pretty quiet at the moment without all that much going on. The Caribbean, same story. Again, beautiful weather out that way. Across the open Atlantic, it is also pretty quiet. Now, we'll keep an eye on this. We tend to have to worry about storms coming off of Africa this time of year, but there's nothing going on right now. We'll dive into this a little bit more during our Weather Impact Show about when and how things might change a little bit. But right now, we're in good shape. We'll try and keep it that way. Low temperatures for tonight. I have us at 56 degrees for Greensboro with a clear sky. And if you look really throughout tomorrow, it should be another beautiful day of weather. We'll have high temperatures in the upper 70s, close to 80 degrees at times. It's a really, really beautiful Wednesday around our area. So hopefully you can enjoy that. The rest of the forecast, you look at the 7-day here, there's not all that much that would concern you. The main concern most likely would be the event of any sort of drought, right? Or the lack of rainfall starting to become a bit of an issue. So mostly what we're seeing, mid to upper 50s each morning, upper 70s to near 80 each afternoon. And this is something that continues with high pressure really through Friday into Saturday. Low to mid 80s once we go into next week. That's when things start to warm up a little bit more. But really, any sign of rainfall on the horizon, it's just not happening around here, not all that much. The best chances are in the beaches as we go toward the weekend. It may not be the prettiest of beach weekends. The European model that I'm showing you right here, notice it has some rain along the coastal areas, so you might not want to head toward the coast this weekend. They could have some issues when it comes to this low pressure area that continues to kind of spin a little bit offshore. But here in our area, dry weather continues to be the story and is likely going to linger with us for a little while longer. So I'll leave you with the 7-day forecast. We'll be back in just about 2 minutes from now with lots of discussion with Brittany Van Voorhees from Charlotte about Carolina weather. Stay with us.